we often use those terms addiction and abuse, and it's important that we define what those mean. So addiction is a physiologic and or psychologic reliance on a substance. So it's something that your body and your psyche craves, and if you don't have it, you have symptoms such as anxiety, depression, or you actually have physical withdrawal, so a rapid heartbeat, a nausea, sweating, a bunch of different symptoms. Yeah. Whereas substance abuse is the use of a substance, and it invades your ability to function normally. So in other words, you want to use something, and as a result of trying to use the substance, you are not going to school, or you are not engaging in normal friendships because you need to get that substance in time. It sort of co-opts your other relationships or your other responsibilities.
An addiction behavior is also, the psychology of it, from what we see, is dependence means, like any of us that drink coffee are dependent on coffee, but I'm not addicted to coffee. I'm not going to go sell family heirlooms to get more coffee. Whereas if I have addiction, it comes into substance abuse, I might sell something that's valuable to me to get more of that drug. I might start to actually break friendships with people who are sober because I want to be around people who use. I might, as a teenager especially, start really misbehaving, cutting classes, leaving school early, starting to change friendships, change behaviors, because I'm trying to work on that high much more than work on my relationships. And that's what we see with kids that get into substance abuse. They'll tell us, actually in clinic, I can't believe what I've done to my life. But their vision is so obscured by their addiction, they're unable to kind of step back until they get sober to say, wow, look at the mess I made.
Many parents ask us, what can I do, because I'm concerned about my child and they are worried that they may be using substances. And the first thing I would recommend is actually having an open conversation with them about the concern, to put everything on the table, to be open and honest about it, to actually identify the behavior that you're concerned about and say, I've noticed that you've been up late at night and it seems like you're very tired in the morning, your room smells like smoke, or I noticed that you haven't showered for several days. Whatever the behavior may be, it's really important to notice that and ask, how are you doing? Can I help you? I'm concerned about you. And it's a way to open up a conversation.
So what I always recommend to parents is step back a few steps. When your kids are young, start having the conversations young, when they're 12 and 13, before they're exposed. Okay, you might be in a situation, kiddo, where you're exposed to this, this, and this. Our family rules are X, or these are the consequences that will happen in our house. So that the kids are aware. But also, if you're ever in a situation where you're in danger, you're going to call me, no questions asked. Because if we let those conversations start before there's use, typically those kids are going to reach out for help. They're not going to hide, and they won't be hiding their behavior from their parents the same way. Now, if they are, like Mike is describing, and you have that open conversation and you get nowhere, then if you're really concerned, then talk to their healthcare provider, talk to their doctor, their nurse practitioner, whoever they feel like they have a trusting relationship with, one of the counselors at Bainbridge Youth Services, a family friend if there's someone they're more connected to, a coach or a teacher that they like, because sometimes there's just kids who, for whatever reason, do not feel comfortable sharing with their parents. And the best parents I know can have this happen. It's not because you're not being a good parent. It's just sometimes the chemistry is just not right. And there's a trusted family friend who they will just be much more likely to open up to, an older sibling, but someone who's adult, not another kid. Because what we want for these kids is to not share this or be found out by their friends, but have those kids have to hold that important information and feel like they would be breaking the trust of the teenager by sharing it. Because that's the worst case scenario, when there's kids that are suffering and nobody that's an adult has been made aware.